Welcome to Learn to Create a Design System series. We are on part 6, Input Fields. Let's get started. So an overview of this page for the Create Input Fields page is the how-to steps, is the input field components, the variable specs that are added, including the padding, the gap between objects, corner radius, as well as space between. And then we have a design example here that are implementing the input fields, as well as a prototype example and instructions on how to set up your prototype. And I'm going to walk you through how you would create your input field components. We already have the components set up here with your icon, no icon, icon left, icon right, and icon both, with an additional caret icon on the right hand side for drop downs. And then in addition to that, we have your different states with the default state, the hint text with a label, and with both label and hint text. And I'm going to walk you through how you would initially create that. So firstly, this is set to a height of 56, and that's on the set with the mode input field size. And in order for that to work correctly, under Appearance Panel, you can click the component size theme, and then you can swap between large, medium, and small. So if you needed to, you can go to medium or you can go to small. We're going to keep it at large for now. And the way that you would set up that mode is under variables. I have a component size theme here. It's its own collection. And under the top label, you have input field size, with large, medium, and small are being aliased from the sizing collection in the primitives. So you can select whatever size you want here. I just have set it up to be a height of 56, 48, and 40. And then you can continue to set up your component from there. Okay, let's start by creating this component here by clicking Option Command K. And then from there, in your design panel, you can click to create the variant here. We're going to call the first one default, and we're going to hide that hint text there, and we're going to hide the icon here. And then in the second one, we're going to hide the hint text. So the first one will be the default, the second one will be with the icon, and we're going to rename the property to icon, and the label to left, so the icon is placed on the left hand side of the text, and this one is going to be renamed icon none. And then we're going to have one other variant where we place the hint text back onto here, so we unhide it using the same icon. And then we're going to create another property here, and we're going to have a variant called hint text, and on is the value. We create that property, and so now this one is going to be icon none with the hint text on, and then we create one more with the icon left and the hint text on. So in this version, we're just going to want to unhide it, and then we see we have those variants here. And just to make it a little bit less confusing, you can put it side by side, and you can see the version with the hint text off with no icon, the hint text on with no icon, and the same here but with the icon. So that's an example of how you would start to set up all the variants, and then you can continue to do so to create everything that's listed here, or whatever is best for your design system. And then in addition to that, you want to make sure that at this level, at the component level, you have your stroke set to our mode for warning success states. So when you take out an instance of this, you'll be able to swap on the appearance panel between those different states. So we have active state. Let's make sure that's set up correctly. We have our stroke set up. So now under the appearance panel, we have default, and then active, and then success, and then error, and it will swap between those 4 states because you have the stroke set up to that mode which lives under the variable collection. And then under warning success states, you can see the 4 modes that are set up here that you can alter to be more adequate to your design system in whatever states you need. Now that we have that set up, you'll want to create your drop-down section if you want to continue with the prototype section of this file. So you'll create this with the default hover and the selected states for the drop-down line item, and that will be placed within the actual drop-down in order to have that interaction. So it's already created within this file, but if you want to practice, you can create it on your own as well. And then from there, it's also showcased within these design examples, and it's showcased in dark mode too because of all the correct variables already applied. And then you can see your prototype instructions of how to create this prototype in order for the prototype to function. And I'm also just going to walk you through how it's set up. So when you click into your prototype panel, you can see that this is the default, this is your hover state, and this is your selected state. So you want to make sure that this link from the default to the hover state is added the trigger while hovering. The action is changed to, so you can change to the other variant, and then the state is the hover state, and the animation is instant. And same here, you have your on click trigger from hover to the selected, and you're changing to the selected state, and the animation is instant. And one last one to get it back to default, you have your trigger on click, your action is changed to, and your animation is instant, and you're going back to the default state. And that way, when you open up your prototype that's set up here, you can click Shift Space, and that will open it up here. You can see that this interaction is working, and then when you click, it clicks into the selected state. So that is the file explained, and feel free to download in the description below.